Hey everyone, thank you again for joining us for another episode of the Liverpool Connection podcast. We're at BD Riley's, our favorite Irish pub here in Austin, Texas, and we're here on Champions League Day. Bayer Leverkusen comes to visit Liverpool at Anfield, the return of the prodigal son. Xabi Alonso back to Liverpool. Thanks, James. That's James. When you're here in Austin,
J-A-Y, J-A-Y.
Oh, it's Jay.
Jay, thanks, Jay.
Oh, I did the long form of his name, James.
Maybe it's not. Maybe it's Jay.
But anyway, thanks to Jay for starting us up. I'm here with Zach. Let's talk about your mustache first. Fu Manchu, Remo Williams. What other nicknames did you get today?
Mario.
Mario, I like that
Half
one.
of the people didn't even know it was me. It's sad when you see people enough times where they recognize your facial hair. So I'm also happy about that. I have good friends that want to trash me and make fun of me, but I kind of like it. It was also a shaving mistake, but we're gonna let it ride. Mustache ride.
Let it ride. That's what I say. Hey, so anyway, let's talk about the game. 4-0 at home against Bayer Leverkusen. Let's remind everyone, they won the Bundesliga last year. They were obviously lost. The only game they lost was in the Europa final last season. They come in here. They're a good quality team. Xabi Alonso has them playing well. And let's talk about the lineup first because, you think you're going to get wholesale changes, midweek. And again, Slot playing the majority of the starters. The main difference today, starting lineup-wise, is Tsimikas playing over Robbo, who we're used to playing in these Champions League games, but Tsimikas got to play today.
Yeah, and I'll give it to Tsimikas. His last few games have actually been pretty well. And, there was kind of we didn't know whether he was going to stick around. And then there was also that, is Robbo healthy enough? Does he have the same step? Is he going to be able to keep up with this level of competition? And Tsimikas has answered that question. And also, no Soboslai, which, but to your point, yeah, I mean, Tsimikas, he's been playing with heart. He's kind of playing like he wants some money. He wants to stick around, but he showed out. He played very, very well. And other than, a couple simple mistakes, but yeah, I thought that he played really well.
So the midfield, like you said, Zoboslai goes to the bench, bring in Jones, Maka, and Gravenberch, the mainstay in that midfield, right? Up top, we have Diaz, Gapco running through the middle, and then Salah. Still a formidable lineup, and even making the changes. I think the squad depth is really showing thus far this season that we can make these changes. It's a quality lineup, and we still have Jota and Elliott to come back from injuries, and so I think the lineup. He doesn't make a lot of changes, but I think he does have a lot of confidence in the guys to play in every other day, every 3 days, but it'll be obviously it's the long game, but so far Sly's pulling all the strings and he's pulling them correctly.
Yeah, it's very interesting when you look at Klopp's team, where you if you have a bad first half, you come out with you hope that he's going to give you a little bit more motivation. Klopp never really did too many changes right at the half. It was always 60th, 70th minute or something like that. Slot seems to just change things tactically at the half. And obviously we saw at Brighton, we brought in Diaz, and things changed. But it's just a very different Liverpool team with the same players. So it's just very interesting to see right now, who you feel you can't. It is Leverkusen. They scored 17 goals after the 85th minute last year. It's a high standard they set this year, but they are also, I think, 7 points behind Bayern and the Bundesliga. And we had an objective, and the first half of the game was, I didn't mean to go into the game, but it was just very much both teams trying not to get scored on. And it was I thought it was a tactical masterclass by Slot after the second half.
Yeah, I mean that's a great segue because we're talking about the first half. Leverkusen was time wasting in the first half, which was to me, you're in the Champions League, you're the Bundesliga champions. You're gonna really go on the road and fuck around and time waste in the first half. Show your credentials. I mean that's just me, my personal opinion. Obviously, maybe I'm the one that's the dickhead because they played a little bit more open the second half and then they got thrashed, right? So maybe yeah, the point was correct in the first half
Right.
where both teams I don't think ever got out of first or second gear, right? I don't. Liverpool didn't. They didn't. They were time wasting. I think they came in to try to play for the draw,
Hmm.
obviously. Which, like I said, it sucks when you're a champion of a domestic league and you're playing for draws. But that's just just the way I feel about things like that. But first half, um, really nothing to. I mean, somebody here at the pub was like, "Hey, how come we're not singing?" There wasn't really anything to sing about, right?
Yeah, I mean, we're also missing our main voices in Matthew and Tom and whatnot, and we do show out for those who show up, but yeah, there wasn't really much to say. And fun fact, this was Leverkusen's first defeat away from home this season, so um, you wouldn't expect them to want to play for a draw. But it just seemed, yeah, they were just very conservative, and we were the first half. But as all it took was a tactical change, and they just got split right open.
So we could either credit the second half performance of Liverpool to Slot's tactical changes, or the fact that we did start singing here at the pub.
Yes,
So
that's.
which one do you think it really had
I
the most effect on the team back at Anfield?
Well, there's not a lot of good today specifically. There's not a lot of good voices, so I'm going to attribute it to Slot's tactical change. Not a
Yeah,
lot of not a lot of Mariah Carey's at the bar today.
yeah, there were any Alicia Keys coming out here,
No,
right?
no, yeah,
Yeah,
no,
it's the funny, interesting is that the first half was so pedestrian, right? Second half, once we scored that goal, you know, the we've scored so many goals. I forgot which one was the first one.
I'm not
Yeah,
gonna lie. Yeah, you paused, and I was like, I hope he doesn't come to me. But yeah,
let's just credit Luis Diaz because he had three.
first hat trick for Liverpool. First hat trick. Yeah, he showed out and showed well, and we just picked him apart, and they seemed to just play the same exact game that they did in the first half, and at that point they just kind of lost all their gas. So
Stupid stat of the day on TV. It was Luis Diaz 3 goals in 4 games,
that's not.
which he had 3 goals in one
Yeah,
game, right?
yeah, yeah. I like that when they throw those random stats away that make zero sense. I don't get it. He played pretty well.
A hat trick. I think he played pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, Nunez gave him one of those, but unbelievable. Gakpo continues to play at an extremely high level, and for him to see that emotion after that goal was ruled, he was clearly onside. You don't get a lot of emotion out of Gakpo. You saw in the game last Wednesday when he scored that absolute banger. He doesn't show a lot of emotion, and to see that from him, this means a lot to everybody involved right now. It means a whole bunch.
And you can see how even it meant to Salah. He didn't get on the score sheet, but man, his assist on Gakpo's goal, and he was just in that second half. He was really creating a lot of space and just the whole team ramped it up. It was so interesting to see just the levels especially once that first goal went in, and then we scored about like 2 minutes right after that, and the Leverkusen was done at that point.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, and even when Klopp was around, we were the never say no kids, and we always fought back. But it's just this year. I mean, you look at the Brighton game on Sunday, and it was something that was that first half was really rough. But you never really think at this point of the season that we're out of a game. And but once you hit one, we smelled blood in the water, and we just went after them.
Some of the stats, Zach, like our XG was 4.12 to their point 0.8, and that's been one of the things this year with Slot's team, keeping the other team under 1 on the expected goals. So again, doing that in a Champions League match, 22 shots, 8 on target, 5 big chances in a single game. They only had one, and at the end they had a couple, and then again, I don't think we get or he gets enough credit, Kelleher, for coming into the game. They never talk about that we're missing Allison. And we have our backup keeper, but he's the number one in most teams' books.
Oh, he's starting. I mean, and in the Premier League, I mean, if you think about it, it's Allison, Ederson, Onana, whatever, wank. But Kel starts in any squad, and you come in and you put in a good performance. Every once in a while, they'll wait till the ball gets to him a little close, or maybe he doesn't clear the ball too well, but he's right there. He communicates with our back line really, really well, and it just seems like everything's clicking in that back line so far.
Speaking of back line, Ibu miraculously came from hospital, according to our friend Philip.
Oh, hey, that was Nunez.
Oh, Nunez. I'm sorry.
Sorry. Wait, wait.
Oh, Nunez.
But either
Well,
way,
but Ibu, he had
Ibu
a
was
sling, right?
yeah,
And he
yeah,
came.
right.
No one thought he was going to play today, and he came out there and he played a great game
Yeah,
again.
yeah, absolutely. And I mean, like you got guys like Virgil van Dijk in the back line, but look at Kanate, look at Samikas, look at these players that are just showing out. When one player is down, it seems at the moment that we're picking
Well,
everybody up.
even Gomez the last game, right?
Oh my God, Gomez is unreal. That slide tackle to lead to the Salah goal and that breakaway. I mean, it's another one. Gomez could be starting on any other team, 40, 50 million maybe. I mean, that's what Newcastle valued him at. And he comes in, he's been quiet, but when he comes in, he's showing out for Liverpool. And everyone wants me to take my shirt off when he scores, and it's not happening.
Well, we are going to streak on the little motorized bird things around here if Gomez scores. So,
Yeah, well, fair enough. My shirt will be off. So
but anyway, so kind of a complete performance in that second half. I can't wait to read the write ups. There are really not a lot of negatives. I mean, we got to bring in Bradley and Nunez came in at the end, and Nunez's decision making still leaves a lot to be desired. I think at the end we had a 4v2 and he tries to shoot, but Diaz ends up scoring, so it all works out. But like, dude, knucklehead,
yeah, he's an interesting player. I mean, if we don't score that last goal, or Diaz didn't score the last goal, then we go, oh, Nunez, whatever. You know, a lot to be said about Nunez this season. But he's doing his part in his own role that he's got. He's been winning his battles, his individual battles. He's playing defense, which is not what we paid him for. But yeah, you'd like to see some. He's playing with heart, and you wouldn't think that from someone who came in, was supposed to kind of be this difference maker, was signed at the same time that Holland was signed for City, and there was always a lot of speculation on whether he would step up to it. But he seems to have a good attitude about the minutes he's getting.
yeah. I mean, I don't think he needs to be the Holland player on this on the Liverpool team, right?
Right.
He doesn't need to be the leading scorer. We have so many people that can contribute goals, and so it's a different mindset. I think he's had to adjust it, but the way he plays, I think he accepts that he's gonna whatever minutes he gets, he's gonna play. The chemistry on this team seems very strong, and that was always the thing that with the Klopp's team, the chemistry was very high. But man, the chemistry on this team seems maybe even a little bit higher.
Yeah, I mean that's a super tough thing to say. When the season started, it goes, all right, well, you got Arn slots coming in, and not many people come into a team with Mo Salah, Diego Jota, Luis Diaz, Cody Gagbo, Virgil van Dijk, Robertson, Trent. I mean, you don't adopt teams like that, generally speaking. And so the thing was, are they going to adapt to what Slots played? And I think he's done a great job of just saying, hey, this is how we play. This is what I'm seeing, and especially the halftime adjustments. That's been the most impressive thing to me so far. Is that just these little things, and we seem to turn around with it. And I would and everyone last week or the weekend against Brighton, that was probably our more frustrating performance. But you bounce back today, and yeah, there was a little sloppiness, and there's a lot to be said about Maka and certain players like Soboslai, but he just the chemistry is there. We all seem to want to win, and you saw Salah said we don't belong anywhere besides first in the Prem, and at the moment we're everything is gelling.
Yeah, and another player who I thought played excellent today was Curtis Jones. I know he's very maligned among supporters. The some people think he's not Liverpool quality. They want to sell him. That he's not good enough, man. But he has the quality, and anytime he has a run of games in the squad, he shows his quality. And I think with Simicus and Jones, I think Slot is becoming a little bit more comfortable with them getting more and more minutes every game.
Yeah, I mean, Samikas is much younger than Robertson, and Robertson's got some injuries, and I mean, he's getting a little bit older. I mean, like he's my favorite player, and he's someone that I try to mold my game off of. But yeah, I mean, Jones. Yeah, I mean, like the one thing with Jones is that what he holds the ball maybe a little bit too long, whatever. But I think he's shining just fine when he's not injured. Um, but yeah, Samikas, Jones. I mean, Bradley, it's unfortunate that he's had some injury. He can't get into the game, and but these players that Gravenberg didn't shine under Klopp, it's all these players that we signed last year that we go, they're going to make a big difference. And Gravenberg, he was on the bench, riding the bench at Bayern. He didn't get a lot of minutes, he didn't get any minutes essentially. And there's a lot of different pieces of the puzzle that are shining through for us that didn't shine last year. And then there's a lot of pieces like Salah and Diaz and Gakpo that are just kind of constant great players for us. So it just seems like I don't know. It's a magical squad.
It is a magical squad, and we have to kind of remember that we didn't even really have a preseason. I mean, some of those guys were only with the club 2 weeks before the season started,
Right.
and so they didn't really have a lot of the sessions with Slot and how he wanted to play. And I think sometimes it shows in like the first half of games, and then he kind of has this like, okay, tweak the systems a little bit, and then it gets refined. But when you have the forward line that we have, that can score on any chance, really. When you have a Sala and a Gapco and a Diaz, and you can still bring Nunez, and then we have Jota coming back from injury. When you could score goals from any of those top three positions, because there's a lot of teams out there. They're a one forward person.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
Not in force. They're Chris Wiz,
I
right?
was just gonna say,
You got Man City. You got Holland. They're the main guy. Where for Liverpool, I mean, who are you gonna really focus on? And it's exciting, Zach. Where I was excited before the season on to see how this team would play, but I'm so excited. We're going into the weekend against Villa. Riding high on this win. Um,
quarters. We're in the quarters.
yeah, I mean it's more than what majority of the supporters expected. But like I said last year at this time when we were in for four, enjoy the journey. Go to your pub, to your local, be with your friends and your fellow supporters, and enjoy the journey because that's what it's all about, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's when Klopp leaves, I mean, he brought us so much happiness and so much joy, and there's a lot of camaraderie that comes with that. And then you get a new coach, and a lot of us, oh, it's going to take us a year. I'm taking everything in stride.
Yeah.
Okay, we're playing pretty well right now. Um, there's some things to be figured out, but right now I'm enjoying absolutely every part of this season, and I don't see myself not enjoying it. We're gonna There's gonna be some heartbreak along the season, right? But given the situation um, with Slot and having a new team, I don't. I'm, I'm loving every minute of it.
Well, I've enjoyed having you here. I've enjoyed looking at your mustache when you're speaking as it kind of moves.
It moves.
It kind of moves. Yeah.
It's
So
got a
anyway,
voice of its own.
hey, we appreciate you guys joining us. Subscribe, like, put on your notifications, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.